What's going on, guys? Sin for the win here, and welcome to our new franchise mode. The New York Islanders just edged out the Buffalo Sabres in the vote, and so that's who we're taking over here now. We're not going to be doing any simming or anything in this video. This is basically what we're going to figure out what the plan is for this team. Because there are some major things to decide pretty quickly off the bat. Number one is Tavares. 1 year left. Is this guy re-signed? Do we re-sign him? Do we trade him? Do we start a rebuild? What do we do with Tavares? But, the hell. These lines don't look great. I think we'd be better off checking out the rosters and the contracts. But, oh yeah, defensive core. Oh, man. Oh, God. Yeah, none of this is great. And then even their top fours are in their prime, and they aren't getting any better. Ugh. I'm leaning towards immediate rebuild here. Oh, yeah. No good goalies either. Yeah. Not looking very good. Barzal's your bright light. So he's already listed as first liner, so I think for sure you want to play him on the first line here. Move him up move him up onto the right wing, something. Yeah, do something with him because yeah, he is listed as first line. He's got those great offensive stats. You want to play a guy like this in his role. And I'm honestly leaning. I would think that. Yeah, I'm almost thinking just to really stack that first line, go Barzal, Bailey, and Tavares. Because Bailey's not too bad. I don't know how much the guy will shoot though. That's the only thing. Not too sure if this guy will shoot a whole hell of a lot in this game. I mean, it doesn't look like that. I mean, those are his real life stats. So I don't know. Sometimes two-way forwards can shoot quite a bit. But I think Tavares and Barzal will be a really good duo, no matter what. Barzal, playmaker. Yeah, and that's what I'd be thinking of, something like that. Even though you don't really have like a center for that second line. I mean, if you're gonna be tanking anyway, is that really gonna matter? Probably not. So, you know. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted to do. I'd do something like that. And then if we're like looking to tank, at least get a good year for Barzal. Give him an opportunity to grow, get some statistical growth, because that's who we're really going to build around. And I think we should hold on to Tavares at least till deadline for that reason. If we are going to move him, hold on to him there. The thing is about Tavares, man, he's 26. Like if you're going to do like a few year turnaround, then you know you'd easily hold on to a guy like Tavares. The problem is if you want Barzal to be your number one center, you want to turn it over to him right now. I mean, Tavares' faceoffs probably aren't going to get better, 82. Barzal's can still get better. I mean, Tavares is good, don't get me wrong, but is he the future? I don't know. I'm leaning towards thinking Barzal is the guy to go to. Yep, those are my thoughts though, and yeah, and then the rest of this is really crap, man. But, you know, if we make the playoffs, you know, we'll probably win the cup with this roster because of the sim engine. And that's another thing we're going to decide. And that's going to dictate a lot of how I choose to rebuild the team. Are we going to do playoffs just calendar sim only? Or will we go back to trying using the text sim? That's a big choice. For me personally, if I want to build the team like how I usually will build a team, then I think we should do calendar sim. But if we want to try to beat the sim engine and figure out a way to beat it, you know, then it'll change the way I draft. You know, I'm not going to go as crazy for top guys and elites and like over the top, because the better you make your team, the worse they seem to do in the text sim. So you kind of have to find like a perfect balance of a team. It feels a bit cheesy, but hey, sometimes that's what it takes. You got to find the right players and not the best ones. So you guys can weigh in on that. What do you guys want us to do? Just calendar sim or do the text sim here? But yeah, they're prospect-wise, I mean, there's a few guys here. Shane Prince ain't going to turn out to be much, even with the green top 9, and his defensive stats aren't even that great. That guy's just not that good. Bolvier's got some room to grow. Red top 6. I mean, offensive stats aren't amazing. Shots okay. Defensive stats aren't amazing. But he's kind of on the cusp. He's a good skater. And Ho-Sang, you definitely want to see what's going to happen with him. With the depth roles, though, I mean, if we're going to go full rebuild, maybe we got bring guys like this up. Or, you know, give him a chance in the AHL, but I don't know. That's a tough call there for sure. Steve Bernier. Blast from the past right there, and then Malkadal. Oh, man. Yeah, and let me know if you guys want to see any of these guys changed as well with overalls and things like that. Any Islander fans out there, especially if anyone needs to be like, you know, improved or a little bit, or potential changes or anything like that, increases and decreases, of course. But yeah, what do they have in the AHL in terms of goalies? Okay, there's Soderstrom, yeah. Alright, so someone is saying Soderstrom is a good goaltender prospect. He might be, but anytime I see a starting goaltender prospect, I don't consider them a future #1 goaltender. That's just me personally. You have to get an elite goalie in this game. That's just, in my opinion, how it goes. And especially at age 21, at 71 overall, it's very, very unlikely this guy... Holy crap. How'd they sign him to that? It's very, very unlikely that this guy really... I don't know. I just think it's highly unlikely this guy catapults into a #1. So if you're going to go for that rebuild, I think that's an asset you kind of give away pretty quickly. Because, damn, you need a goaltender. I mean, you can hold on to him for a while. I mean, maybe it's not even that much value to really bother with, but I mean, at the same time, there's just not a lot of value on this team in general. So that could present a problem. Well, not really a problem, but make the rebuild a bit tougher. But hey, I always like a good challenge, man. I ain't gonna back down for a challenge. In this game, it's pretty easy to get that value. You scout well enough, doesn't matter if you don't have a lot of value to start off with. You can get tremendous amounts through drafting. And I'm okay at drafting. I think you guys would agree. I'm pretty decent. Alrighty, so if we sort by the potentials here, there's the cutoff. So, and even with the two top fours, they're both 26. Letty signed, oh my god, longer than he needs to be. But, I mean, maybe this is a guy you hold on to for a bit. He could turn into a top 4 guy. I mean, by the time that contract's up, you could maybe sign him for one that's a bit better. And he's not terrible. This guy definitely isn't terrible. Offensive defenseman, good offensive stats. He's got some nice defensive stats. He's a good skater. Could hold on to a guy like Letty, but I think there's definitely a lot of things on here that could be chipped off. Ooh. Yeah, Brock Nelson. Oof. Yeah. My goodness. Boychuk, I think you want to trade immediately. Oh, what the hell is up with... Oh, God. If you can trade Boychuk immediately, you want to. 5 years, what the hell are you doing, New York? What the hell kind of contract is that? My goodness. Okay. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well. Yeah. Some contracts, man. So, yeah, there's Dal Call. Yeah, as you can see, there's a couple prospects here. Bellows is looking pretty good for development. Power forward, though, meh. Ho-Sang, I think this guy can maybe crack second line, and that's kind of what you need him to do. He's not incredible at the offensive awareness. You have to see how he'll grow. And it's going to depend, man. We might not even get anywhere with some of the prospects here, because so many of these prospects I consider borderline. 21 at 71 for a Red Elite, that's not that great. Ho-Sang, 77 at 21 for a Yellow Top 6, that's better, but does he get to a second line? And will his offensive awareness get good enough? I mean, 82 when he's at 77 overall, that's... He's got a great shot, but does he take enough shots? You know, you can have a great shot all you want, but if you're taking 100 shots a season, that's nothing. You're not going to be able to capitalize on that. Wow. So yeah, there's much to be desired here. So I'm definitely thinking this team just needs to draft a bit. I mean, yeah, this team definitely needs to draft, and then you want to decide what you're gonna do with Tavares. Those are the big things that we got to decide. We need to. I'm pretty sure this team is kind of a rebuilder. We could let it sim a bit and see how we're gonna do. But I really think we want to put Barzal on that first line, because I think we want to stack a first line and really try to get Barzal catapulted. This is the future right here. Barzal is the future. This is who you build around. So I say we try to stack a first line. Maybe don't worry about defense so much. Just keep Letty on that top line with those offensive stats just to help out the point production. And you could trade pretty much a lot of other stuff. Maybe keep Bailey on. I don't know how he'll do. But, be a utility guy in that first line. I mean, sniper, playmaker, two-way forward. That seems like a really good match. And then the rest of the team, really, I don't give a shit about. We could stuff up a bunch of those guys in the AHL, or we could try to stack the AHL, give them a good year, and try to grow some of our guys like that. Some of the borderline guys, like Dal Call and stuff like that. See if a good year in the AHL would really help grow them. But yeah, other than that, there's a lot to be desired with this team, and we're gonna need a draft. Pulock, I think you're gonna want to hold on to. Pulock could be a guy who can jump up, and as a depth guy with red potential, maybe we want to put him on the NHL team, or maybe we want to make him have a good year in the AHL. That's something we definitely need to decide. But damn, yeah, as I said, there is a lot to be desired here. So let's take a look at some of the trade value we're working with. We know Tavares has a lot of value, but if you're going to go for that rebuild, you do want to try to stack up on picks, but I don't think we're going to be afforded that luxury for at least these first couple of years. Tavares is our biggest chip. Other than that, I don't foresee us having too much. And Barzal, you're not getting rid of ever. And then then there's Bailey. Then that's your next big piece. And even at this point, you might actually want to trade this guy at deadline too, because he's only got 1 year left. So that's what you got to decide. Are you going to hold on to Tavares? Hold on to Bailey? Because if you are, you're not going to get as many picks at all. I mean, we're not going to have much of anything. Whoa. Yeah, that is, this is going to be a good challenge. This really is going to be a good challenge. Yeah, even Soderstrom's oh yeah, his value's not, because he's 21, still low overall, so his value's even low for a starter. So maybe you do want to hold on to him just to try to at least get him up to, like, back up something. Just a spot filler, maybe. Because that's not really worth it. Are you even going to be able to get a first for this guy? Maybe. Maybe a late first. You'd have to see. We'd have to go to a champion-type team. Winnipeg, there we go. Let's see if their first would be... See if we could even pick up that first. Well, they don't have one, but... Is that value? Yeah, okay. We might be able to pick up, like, one of those... Let me see a team that actually has a goddamn first. Well, I was looking for guys who actually wanted him, but let's just... Oh, man. Yeah, none of them are going to have firsts. I don't think Pittsburgh has theirs either, no. Pretty sure they traded it for fucking Reeves. Come on, champion teams, where you at? Because that's what you have to look... Oh, my God, dude. None of them have... Alright, Bruins, you better have your first still. Oh, my God. None of them have... Yeah. I'm pretty sure it would be the same value as the next year's pick if they're still... Yeah, none of the guys listed as champion have a first. That's hilarious. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Okay, so you might be able to get a first from a team like Washington. You can pick up that first for a guy like Soderstrom. But is that kind of worth it? Maybe. You could get you could get an elite tendy or something like that. Or an elite in general, but maybe not in the first year, because the first year is pretty static. Yes, there are computer-generated ones. Yes, they can go late in the first round, but it's far from a guarantee. And if you miss out on those, you gotta really try to get one of those yellow top sixes in that first year. Some of those yellow top sixes are far from guarantees to ever become NHLers, Like a guy like Eggenberger. I've only seen him really crack the NHL like once or twice, and he never really gets past third line. So that's what you got to consider. A guy like John Tavares, I think maybe you want to hold on. I don't know. It depends. It depends on how the team's going to do. It depends on how we want to run this. And another thing that we will be doing, we will be having those contests again. So I'm going to change it a little bit. So it's still going to be the top forward, top defensive point producer, and you can only choose one from the team or one from the league for each. So say if you're going to say, like, okay, Tavares is going to be the top point scorer on our team, you have to choose you can't also say that Leddy's going to be the top defenseman on our team. You have to choose someone from the league. So you could say Tavares is going to be top point scorer for the league, and then also say Leddy's going to be top point producer for the team. So I'm hoping that makes enough sense. If it's not, anyone have questions in the comments, let them down. I'll answer it, or some of the other people who participated in the Minnesota series and a little bit in the Quebec one will be able to help fill you in on that. And then the last one we're gonna do is we're gonna look at the last one instead of growth, because that's just too crazy. Because they're at, when you start getting so many prospects, it just becomes a roll of the dice really. So I might just say no to that and just add in the last one, which is who we think the best goalie is going to be in the league. So that's, that I feel like is a bit more reasonable for people to get right, because I think for the growth thing, maybe someone we got it right in the full 10 years that we did Minnesota, maybe once, or twice. I don't know. But it was a lot more just random, especially when you get so many prospects from all the good years of drafting. So I'm not gonna keep this save file most likely, and I didn't check. I don't think there's a new update. They usually don't do any updates during the postseason. I do have the last roster update, but I will double check that. I do want to see if there's anyone we should edit. So you guys are gonna have to fill in on that, but we can do a few more mock trades here just to see what we can get for a guy like Tavares here if we were to trade him at the deadline. Or, whatever, or a guy like Bailey. Obviously, I'm not going to keep any of these. I'm going to delete this save file. But if we pull the trigger on any trade. So, for a guy like Tavares, the thing about Tavares is you're going to make a team amazing when you trade this guy somewhere. So, you kind of are probably going to want to do it at a time where it's not going to really affect the stock of the pick. And it will affect the future picks. Yeah, you could pick up some future picks for him, but I'm gonna go here because this is Tavares' team next year anyway. So let's see. If you wanted to, you'd have to see if San Jose. Sometimes San Jose does really shit in the first year. Not often, but sometimes they do. So you don't want to see that stock increase, and you want to add in a bunch of those picks. And yeah, this is actually going to be tough to do mock deals with this guy because, again, you trade this guy at the deadline. You don't want to make a team too good. You don't want to trade this guy to a team. If you trade him to a team that says rebuilder. So, I actually give you, a real good example of this. If we trade him to... Hold on, who needs a good center? Who's a rebuilder? I had... Well, actually, the hopefuls. Hopefuls I would actually... Actually, no. Let's see. So, say if we get him to Vancouver or something like that. Imagine him and Besser playing together, first of all. That'd be filthy. Other than that, yeah, not too much. That would be a sort of a safe bet still. But a duo of Tavares and Besser is going to produce a hell of a lot of points. That's just how... It's going to produce a hell of a lot of points. Because Besser has had some really, really huge years in here. Even in his rookie year, I've seen him have some huge years. So... But on the good side of that is Vancouver still needs a few years to really become something. So if you wanted to grab Vancouver picks, give Tavares over there. You can easily grab this year's first and next year's first. However, if, depending on free agency signings, other factors, depending on how quick Demko grows, you're taking a risk. Yeah, 75-21. You are taking a risk that those picks might lose some of their value. And that's the problem with trading a guy like Tavares, is especially for multiple picks, and especially because he's in his prime. So on that side of things, you almost kind of want to hold on to a guy like Tavares. Yeah, it might make your seasons a bit better. Your draft picks may lose some value, but and we start off with we actually have an extra first. That's huge. Oh, that's actually, this is massive. I forgot about that. This is actually huge for the first year. So we actually do start off with 2 firsts. That's actually great. And with Calgary being one of those teams, that's really good for us. Oh yeah. This could be really good. I mean, they do have some good, they could make the postseason with this squad, definitely. But do they? After that, they don't have much, so this year's first is good. Yeah, I see these guys make the playoffs, but I don't know if it's immediately. Alright, so at least we do have 2 firsts to start off with. That's hedging our bets a bit, definitely. So I'd say in that first year, yeah, Tavares is a deadline-only decision, I'd say. I don't think we trade him at the beginning. I don't even know if we might want to just hold on to him. Still at age 26, he's got a lot of hockey to be played in him. The thing about what I was saying is Barzal seems like you want him to be the number one center. Do you want him to be playing wing all the time? You could move Tavares over to the wing. He ain't going to grow anymore. Put him on his one-time side on the right wing. Let Barzal be the center playmaker. That could work. That could work as well. And I don't know how many shots Tavares has taken, but I have seen him at the top for points a few times, and he seems like a pretty balanced guy production-wise. Gets a lot of assists, gets a decent chunk of goals. Yeah, and he's built well for it, too. See, that's another reason that maybe you don't want to give up Tavares for that reason. I mean, damn. And especially if we're going to stack a first line this year, this is a good year to do it. I mean, hell, we could even trade some assets to get a really good left winger prospect. Like, get someone like frickin' Matthew Tkachuk. I don't know, power forward, but I don't know. I think that might be a bit too over the top at first. Maybe you just want to hold on to Bailey, make him the deadline decision, get an extra pick for him if he's not panning out, or, you know, even grab like a veteran scorer to put on this line just to give him a bit more production, something like that. I don't know if there's anyone in the first year that you can really bank on to do that, but yeah. Oh, wow. They still got William Karlsson's potential at red top 6. I might boost this guy. I know he's 24 and all, but he should grow above an 84. And I don't think he will with those kind of stats. So, yeah, I might boost up Wild Bill. Wow, look at that contract. Oh, man. But yeah, there's definitely some things you could do. Ooh. Yeah, so I might actually change a few guys. Yeah, I might change William Karlsson to like some kind of elite because he's still got a couple years to grow. At 84, I think you're gonna. I mean, red top 6 for this guy, just coming off like a 40-goal year, man. And I want him to actually. I want that to be reflected in his at least a little bit. I might improve that shot a bit, maybe even improve his overall slightly, but definitely improve that potential to at least elite. So he'll grow a bit more. But the main thing we want to focus on is our roster, definitely. We want to make the changes here. So, any of you guys Islander fans out there and people who are, you know, mess around with rosters a lot or pay a lot more attention to the Eastern Conference, because as you know, I'm a Sharks fan. I don't see the Eastern Conference as much. You know, I can make a lot of those decisions based on who I think players should be if it was, you know, in my conference, and especially if we were doing the Sharks, man. There's so much to change here. So much to change. They even decreased Pavelski. That's fucked. Sorry. Vlasic is an 86 in this game. That's insulting. Anyway, yeah, Barzal. We got to win in the Calder too. That's what's got to happen. We got to make sure Barzal wins the Calder. I think we have a good chance, especially if we do that thing where we stack up a first line with Tavares in there. So, yeah. All right. Well, I want to see if that one trade would work. I want to see if this Soderstrom thing, if we tried to get him thrown, you know, even let's look at other teams that aren't champions. Could we get better picks that might actually turn into something? Oh yeah, we might even be able to get something from like San Jose. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes San Jose can miss. However, maybe we don't want to do it from there because I still don't think Vegas will be that good unless, well, if I improve William Karlsson, they might really have a big shot here, but. All right, so someone like New York, actually. They don't want to give it up. See, that's... Oh, my goodness. Wow. They're gonna draft pretty heavy. Now, we could pick up one of their picks, however. Boston, I think they're going to be a good team. Tampa's definitely going to be a good team, so the only one you'd rather go for is that, and that's too much value. So it's got to be someone listed as a contender. I have seen Nashville miss first year, but they don't have a first. But I think it was previous up rosters too. I don't think they would. Actually, you could make the argument that they might miss just because of their offensive core. But again, if they make it to the playoffs, they're probably winning the cup with that kind of offensive core because EA. But oftentimes, Pekka Rinne is enough to carry, and yeah, he might be enough to carry for sure. But they could use a good goaltender prospect. That is a big argument. However, they do not have a first for this year. So, it's not the greatest. Hopeful. I doubt they're not going to want to give it up, and it's too much value. It has to be either contender or champion that we go, hello. Minnesota, we're not using them anymore. We could play to their bullshit. We can go for their future picks for when, you know, Suter and Parise really start to drop off and start losing it basically, because they got some bad contracts. Those contracts are bad. And if we're gonna want to draft heavily, those would be good years. Because here's how I look at it: if we're gonna draft pretty well these first few years, and then we might have, you know, mid picks, but even if we don't have mid picks, the players are gonna take a while to develop. By the time we get into those computer generated years, where these picks that we're gonna look at will be, probably looking at least 20 and 21 or 21 and 22. Those are the first year you're gonna want to go for from Minnesota, because that's when they really start to pay for those Parise and Suter contracts. However, they can be, you know, amazing anyway. Yeah, once you get those, that's when, like, some of the big computer-generated guys start stepping in, and the overalls in the top 5 are a lot higher. Usually, generally. I don't know. We've seen some weird bullcrap happen, especially in the Minnesota one. We'll see how these drafts go. But you can still find some incredible players. And we just gotta make sure we scout well and really keep an eye on prospects and in the draft. Look at the ages, stuff like that. Really make sure that, I mean, especially with what we saw last time, some of our best players were coming in, you know, later rounds, and they were NHL ready, and some great, like, Desprez, that defenseman guy that we found in the second round or whatever, who was like a elite. That was, yeah. So a lot to do. Now this is one of the prime teams to go for those later picks, just because of that contract situation. LA is actually one of the teams who can suck in the first year. I've seen it happen. It happened actually with me when I was simming. So if you guys remember, we did a brief stint with these guys on Twitch, and I think we missed the playoffs in our first year for whatever reason. I mean, you can kind of tell maybe why. They don't have that many good wingers. So maybe LA is a team that we want to, and they have a first. So we could probably easily get that for Soderstrom. And then we give ourselves 3 firsts in this year's, really hedge our bets to get ourselves a good pick. However, that's looking very borderline. We wouldn't have to throw in anything else. So we could say that this trade will work. Soderstrom for LA's first would work, and that's a contender first. He wasn't even on their block, was he? Interesting. I'm just going to go best roster, because like I said, I'm going to delete this save file anyway. I'm spitballing ideas here. We're basically just spitballing ideas. These guys are hopefuls. Oh yeah, they decreased Talbot. Good. So yeah. A lot of different stuff here. So yeah, Edmonton at least should still take another year or so to get good. There's McJesus. Other than that, though, good. They increased Lucic too. All right. Anyway, sorry, I'm just looking at all the rosters all around. So yeah, that's okay. So we found out we can get Soderstrom for either a contender first or a champion first. You want to go for a contender, and actually, well, I think Chicago will make playoffs first year. Well, no, they'll make playoffs first year. Kane and Taves will put up sick amounts of points, and Crawford is still good enough, I think, to carry. However, how's their defensive core? Yeah, no. I think they'll make. I think they'll be good enough to make playoffs first year. Just because Corey Crawford. You know, it is very borderline, but I mean, they might not. You never know. They might not, but again, it's all going to be a risk, no matter what way we cut it. It's a risk. These guys have a couple firsts anyway. So no matter what, it's going to be a risk. But I'm really liking the idea of us starting and trying to stack a first line, trying to get Barzal as good of a first year we can get with Tavares. And if we choose to hold on to Tavares, fine. If we want to trade him at the deadline, fine. But we're going to have to, if we're not going to trade him at the deadline, we're going to want to give him a contract. So if we look at it right now, what kind of thing he's going to want for an extension? Let's see. So he wants 5 years. We could even increase it a bit to, like, I don't think we're going to want to do that. But if I want 5 years, it's this kind of price, I mean, we're going to be able to get him for about $7 million. Rough. I'm a rough estimate. Around $7 million a year for 5 years. That's really good for a guy like Tavares. That really is good for a guy like Tavares, I'd say. Yeah. I mean, a 90 overall, that's pretty damn good. And we could change him to play on the wing if that works out. You know, we could try that even this year because Barzal's got better face-offs. So we could put Tavares on the wing and try Barzal as the center, as the playmaker. And we're really going to want to have big offensive year. That's it. That's all we're going to try to go for, is just to have a big-ass offensive year. And we'd have to obviously, you know, play someone like Anders Lee in the center or some crap like that, but whatever. Yeah, the rest of this team is absolute garbage, man. Yeah, I don't know why. Who else is scratched? They got to have someone else I could throw in there just because I don't... It's a 60-something, man. Pulock is scratched, and they got Pelech scratched. So I'll probably use, like, Pelech as depth since he's not getting anywhere. Put Pulock down just to try to stack our AHL, I'd say. Yeah, other than that, man. Defensive core is nothing to be desired. I think you hold on to Letty for a bit. Everyone else can kind of go. So... I think you got to get rid of Boychuk immediately, though. I'm gonna see what we can get for Boychuk. That'd be good to see what kind of stuff we can get for Boychuk. Because my goodness, yikes, that contract is bad news. Don't do that contract. Oh man, not gonna be able to get a first. I know that, unless it's a champion. But even then, highly doubtful you can get a first, unless you go like deep into the future. But even then. That's close, but yeah, see, they'd be overcapped, man. That's not going to work. Pittsburgh, yeah, none of these, I don't think any of the teams who say they want him can take him just because of cap. It'd be hilarious if we gave him to Minnesota, give him another contract to hate themselves about. But that's not going to work. It has to be very, very close. And it's going to have to be a champion team, and I don't think any of the champion teams are very close. It's close, but I don't know if that... No, too much, yeah. It has to be a champion team in this regard. It's not quite high enough. It'll have to be like someone like the Bruins, but they don't have their first. You have to go into next year. But if you lock them in with a bad contract, maybe. But again, I don't think... Again, that's just too much money. So, yeah, for a guy like Boychuk, you're not going to be able to get him. You'd be better off looking for some kind of prospect. In which case, I'd go... Probably... Try my luck with Brandstrom again. However, that's look. Oh, never mind. Not try my luck with Brandstrom because there's no way we're making that go through. But it would be a really, really, really good boon to get that guy. They don't want to give him up, and they don't want Boychuk, and yeah. So Boychuk is going to be the biggest one to try to move here. You can give him to Toronto and make Marner hit free agency and pick up Marner. But yeah, so. Trading away a guy like Boychuk, you're going to have to delve into the future. You're going to have to trade him only for future picks. But if you screw up, might be able to screw up Pittsburgh enough. Oh, they're locked in for all the guys they really need. Brassard has 2 years? Huh. Interesting. They might not be able to get Hornqvist back. Yeah, I mean, we can go delve into the future. Future first, like next year's. Ooh, oh, they'd still be over cap, and we couldn't afford to retain. We'd have to take back some kind of. I mean, we could make it happen. We could take back a bit of salary for a year, and probably make a trade like this happen. Malkin's making more than Crosby. Ha, that's funny. I didn't know that. You could no. It has to be someone. Yeah, take back someone like Sheahan. You'd have to do that, and that's still not league approved. Yeah, so that's Boychuk is going to be a hard one to get rid of. And not many teams are going to want a contract like that. You kind of have to give him to someone with money. Hey, you guys need defense. You also need centers, but what the fuck? They got like 5 look at how many seconds they got. Yeah, and this one you'd have to like go for. Yeah, it's rough, man. Boychuk is just. Again, you can go into the future for these, but goddamn Boychuk, you have to like. At this point, you just kind of dump him. I'll dump him for like multiple seconds. I'd make him future seconds though. Yeah, I'd dump this guy. I'd put this guy in the bank, honestly. And by putting him in the bank, I mean go for some seconds, but go for him in the future. Like find a team who ain't gonna be too good in the future and get a few seconds. Cause damn, man, he's just unfortunately super borderline. And with that contract, it's gonna be hard to move him anyway. Yeah, poor Boychuk. But let's kind of look at that. Boston usually kind of drops off after a few years here. So, say we want to grab a couple seconds, maybe even a couple thirds. 2 seconds, 2 thirds for a guy like Boychuk. That might work. They're still, yeah. You have to find somebody who's not over cap. That's the other thing. Yeah, so it's very, very slim market for a guy like Boychuk. Maybe St. Louis. You could really screw them up. They actually want to go early seconds, but we don't want those. We want the, they do have they have Winnipegs. Hold on. They want to give it up too. They want it. Unfortunately, no, not sufficient at all, they're saying. So it's not even close that we could really stretch it. That's unfortunate. So we'd probably want to go for the future seconds in that case. Let's see about the value for something like this. Future seconds and thirds. I don't think that even close. No. Remove the thirds slowly. Even then, you can't even get 2 seconds for a guy like Boychuk. So you're kind of in the... You'll just probably dump this guy off. I'd find a freaking red elite then. That's what I'll do. I'll try to find a red elite for the guy. Is there any... If you guys know of any red elites, someone like Shabbat... Oh, yeah. Oh! Go for a guy like that. Trade makes 0 sense, but, you know, it's Ottawa. They're dumb. They got a terrible owner. That's the only thing that goes through. It's close, but... You'd have to throw in extra. I would throw in picks for that, though. Shabbat can get pretty good. He's listed as top 6 already. We could put him in the NHL and get him growing already. His offense is good. His defense is good. He's just really well built all around. On a nice contract. What we'd have to go up for the guy like that? What we have to throw in? We have a couple... I'd even throw in my second from... maybe not. Well, maybe our third from this year. Might be willing to throw in a third from this year. I don't think the third will be much. So let's see if would that go through. Pick up some later stuff as well. Would something like that work? Bunch of later stuff? Okay. Maybe not then. Well, would that work straight up? No, still not. All right. Yeah, it'd be tough to get a red elite then, even with that third in there. But would it be worth it to dump that? I mean, he's already NHL already, only 20 years old, and that kind of would fit in with a lot of our age groups here. At least with our first initial core. We got Barzal is 20, Dalcal's, 2021, what's his name? Mario Lemieux wannabe is 20 or 21. So it does fit in with our first initial age group, so going for a guy like that would be kind of worth it. But is it worth it to chuck in a second? In the first year, I'd say yes, it will be worth it to chuck in the second. Which second, though? That's the bigger question. Who do we think is going to have the better year between us and Calgary? Well, for trading Boychuk, probably Calgary, but you never know. EA Sim. We're going to have one really good line. Don't think it's going to be enough to carry us with our goaltender situation. So I would throw in our second most likely and say, would you take that? They take that. So that's a trade we can make. Get a guy like Shabbat. Or we can go for someone like Jake Bean if we want, you know, more of an offensive guy. But, however, in this first year draft, you think about who's going to be here. There's Boqvist in there, and there's going to be, Rasmus Dahlin, who I actually want to check out. I might want to check him out in the rosters, wherever he's at, because I think he's a two-way in this game, and I think he should be an offensive, and he is a lefty, too, so... You'll want to think about righty lefty in your future here. We already have Leddy, who's a lefty, although he's most likely going to get relegated to top 4. Righties are harder to come across, but that is a kind of a good kind of option if we picked up someone like Shabbat. And he could replace Leddy on that top 4 anyway. Then we can get a little kickback from Leddy when the time comes on that pretty good contract. That's an affordable contract in years to come for people who will want him where he's going to be playing. So yeah, and if he has a hell of a year this year, if we stack that first line this year, Leddy can get some statistical growth. So, all right, guys, I think we got ourselves a bit of a game plan here. I think this first year, what we should worry about is stacking our first line, trying to get some really good growth in there. Maybe bringing up some of those guys AHL, but I think we might want to stack our AHL lines too. Keep Hosang. Keep guys like this down there to have like good years. Try to get our AHL team to have good year. We could sign a couple guys from free agency to be ringers, you know. Move Prince around, scratch some of these AHL guys. I think we got a lot of room. So I'd say let's try to stack our first line, try to get good growth and some statistical, especially for a guy like Letty. With those offensive stats, I still think he could have a good year. And if he's playing on that first unit, put him on the first power play unit as well, with guys like Tavares and Barzal. I'm thinking we have a very good chance of increasing his value. If we increase Letty's value, that's more trade value. He's worth more. We can get more for him for our drafting and to build our team with. And then Tavares, we either trade him at the deadline or we sign him. I think that's it. But first line, I think we're going to go this. And we could even try to get a better guy to stack him more. But I want to see if Bailey will do well. Yeah, it's going to be questionable, this line. It will be questionable. However, they all listed as first liners. Yep, okay. And they've all got good stats. And you want Barzal and Tavares to do well, and you want Letty to do well. That's what I'm really... And hey, if Bailey does really well and gets statistical growth, more power to us. We can trade him. So, I think while we don't have a lot of starting off value, we have the tools necessary and a strategy in place to create more from ourselves from the aggregate, I think. So, you guys let me know about all I talked about here. No simming done. And I'll be, let me know about those trades. Should we pull the trigger on some of the ones we did, whether that's sort of something and going for a Shabbat or going for Jake Bean? Either one. But is it worth it to do that for, a guy like Boychuk in a second? I think it is for the first year, because a second in the first year, you can get lucky, but it's less likely than in later years, where sometimes it feels like you're almost guaranteed to get yourself a top 6 guy who's 20 years old and with that decent overall to start off with. So that's where we're at right now, guys. First day on the job. Gathering the staff around the table, throwing out some ideas for some moves to make waves here in New York, because this team needs something to get themselves going. They have not found success. So, we're at the helm now. It's our turn to try to find the Islanders some success. All right, guys. So, hope you enjoyed this. And as this is the first episode, I do really request you guys leave a like. It does really help out the channel, help out the series in general. And, do it because you love me, too. All right, guys. I appreciate all the support. Let's make this series a good one. I'll see you in the next one. If watching my videos just isn't enough sin for you, be sure to go over there on Twitter and shoot me a follow. And you could even join our Discord server as well to talk with some of the other sinners out there. The links to both are in the description.